Today we are taking you on a really fun and totally free adventure just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. You're going to need to grab a tube, a kayak, a canoe, or a stand-up paddleboard, plenty of sunscreen and bug spray, and a waterproof bag for your essentials. There are 3 different floats that you can actually do in this area of the Harpeth River, but today we are focusing on the only option that you can float entirely solo without the need for 2 vehicles. Make sure you check the water levels on the Harpeth River before you head out, and then just put the Narrows of the Harpeth into your GPS. Be prepared though, because this float is going to take you between 4 and 8 hours to complete. Alrighty folks, we are out here at the Narrows of the Harpeth. We are about to start our 5.4 mile solo float. As you can see, I've already got the canoe out and loaded up. I brought a fishing rod just in case you may catch some smallmouth or bluegill. I've got my Yeti cooler back there in the center of the canoe as my seat, and I've already dropped my vehicle at the takeout point and done the half-mile hike back. So we're about to set sail and get started on our trip. It is an incredible day, folks. We are setting sail. As you can see, I left my canoe over there while I did the half-mile hike back. We are setting off on our adventure here at the Narrows of the Harpeth State Park. I'm gonna fix our camera here real quick. There we go. Now we're nice and level and looking straight off the bow of the canoe. So we got a little bit of a wind here, not too bad. It's 67 degrees outside, so you really can't beat that. And yeah, hopefully this wind switches behind us so I don't have to paddle quite as much. As you can see up ahead of us on the right-hand side of the river, that's where you'll put your canoe in if you come down to float. Got some folks hanging out down there. A lot of people hike here. There we go. Whoops. Perfect. There we go. Much better. Alrighty folks, so as we come up here on the right hand side of the river again, we'll actually see the tunnel that goes through the big ridge / cliff up there that you can hike up. That's the Bluff Trail, and we'll hit that at the end of our adventure today, but I will paddle over there and give you another shot of the tunnel itself, just so you can get an idea as to what it looks like. Now on the other side of the tunnel, we'll check that out again a little later in the video. On the other side of the tunnel, there are several big pools that flow directly into the Harpeth River where we're at right now. So there's our tunnel right there. As you can see, there's a walkway just on the right hand side. You can walk down to it and take a look. If you do not have a canoe or a kayak or a tube, you know, some way to get yourself into the water, and you probably can't see it on video, but because, you know, we're sitting so low in the water, but that tunnel actually does go through the entire cliff and out the other side. So pretty cool stuff there. You're not allowed in the tunnel, but definitely a cool feature on this float. All right, so as we head back out, folks, we are dipping into the main channel of the Harpeth here. You can see it's flowing really well today. Water is gorgeous. So we're going to off the video for a little bit. You know, I know you don't want to see, you know, 2 or 3 hours straight of me just paddling the boat. So we'll cut the camera back on once we get to another really scenic portion of the float. And honestly, there are a lot of them. So hang in there, and yeah, we'll navigate this little rapid and check back in with you in just a little bit. Alrighty, folks. So we are about 2 hours into our trip so far. And let me tell you, it has been absolutely incredible today. So far, we have seen several species native to Tennessee. We've seen a fawn white-tailed deer. We've seen wild eastern turkeys. We've heard turkeys gobbling. It is spring, so you know, they are mating right now, or trying to mate anyway. We've seen tons of red-eared turtles. Typically, when you see deadfall on the bank, like a tree or a big mud bank or something like that, you're gonna see turtles. And you know, it's natural. They're just sunbathing, and they'll flop into the water as you paddle by, and it's really enjoyable. The scenery, just absolutely incredible here at Narrows of the Harpeth. You know, you've got some cliffs. You may catch it in the background as we paddle by, but you've got cliffs, you've got nice gravel beaches along the way. You can stop, have a picnic, something along those lines. Really get out and enjoy the great outdoors. Now, the coolest thing I think I've seen today, and it's been more than a decade since I last saw one. So in the section we just came through, there are big tall mud banks along the back of a privately owned field. Well, up just on the water line, on that big mud bank, I saw a soft-shell turtle laying her eggs and building a nest. Obviously, she scurried into the water as I paddled by, but, I mean, absolutely incredible to get to see that turtle. It has been so many years since I've last seen one. Wow. There are, you may notice, if you come out here and go on this float, you'll see shadowy fish that are, you know, that long in the water, and that's what just came out of the shallows over there to my right. Those are typically, at least what I've seen here on my float today here in the Narrows of the Harpeth, those are typically small or largemouth buffalo, which is a fish species. It actually belongs to the minnow family, and they are native to Tennessee waterways. So they're not like those Asian carp or the big head carp or the silver carp that are very invasive and actually extremely destructive to our waterways. Same thing goes with common carp. You know, the big shiny gold ones. Those are also an introduced species, and they can be very detrimental to a waterway. So keep an eye out if you do come and float the Narrows of the Harpeth. You will see them up in the shallows foraging for mussels and insects in the gravel bottom. Up ahead of us, I can't tell. We've either got a mother duck and her ducklings, or possibly a beaver or muskrat with a branch in his mouth. No, as I get closer here, it certainly looks like a mother duckling, or excuse me, a mother duck with 4 or 5 ducklings in tow. So that's really cool. Yep, there she goes. She's just swimming her way along the river, heading over to the bank. She's got 5 ducklings. Spring in Tennessee, folks, outdoors is incredible. You cannot beat it. And as we get towards the end of our float and get to the end of the video, I'll show you the hiking trail back to the put-in ramp. And my goodness, she's got a lot of ducklings in tow. That is so cool. So cool, folks. new life everywhere in Tennessee. But anyways, I'll show you the hike from one parking lot to the other, the put-in point and the takeout point. That way you can see what it looks like to come and do this float entirely solo like I am today. Typically, you know, you have a put-in point, you'll park one car there. Oh, there's a big long-nosed gar that just came up and got air. You'll see the ripples in the water beside me. This is a slower portion of the river here. There's very minimal flow, so typically that's where you'll find long-nosed gar, short-nosed gar, and spotted gar here in Tennessee. Anyways, so we'll show you that, and like I was saying, you know, you have a put-in point, a takeout point, and typically you have to have two cars. You know, you park one at the put-in, one at the takeout. And the Narrows of Harpeth is really awesome because it's one of the few floats that I know of here in Tennessee, specifically Middle Tennessee, within, you know, 35 minutes of Nashville, downtown Nashville, 35 minutes. That you can do entirely solo. And as you can see, there's nobody behind me, and I promise you there's nobody in front of me either. So anyways, you'll notice in that clip that I've got a white Tennessee shirt on, and the reason for that is I came down here yesterday and shot most of the trail system and the hiking here at Narrows of the Harpeth, because I knew getting on the water around noon today, I probably wouldn't have time to show you all of that today. So that's why I'm wearing a different shirt, different pair of shorts, and yeah. Anyways, folks, enough of me yapping. Let's get back to it, and I will check in with you in just a little bit. We need to get a good set of rapids, and we're going to go over how to navigate rapids in a canoe or a kayak. That way, if you do come and float here at the Narrows of the Harpeth, you'll be well prepared and safe. All right, folks, so here we are. We've gotten to some rapids here. So basically what you're looking at is some riffles up ahead of us with a little island. Looks like to the right is going to be our best option, but I'm going to take a left here, and you can see, obviously, the more riffles there are, the shallower it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow the edge of the riffles heading into the rapids, kind of back paddle on a right-hand side to get the nose turned into this deeper water. You can kind of see what I'm talking about, the edge of the riffles there on the right and the left. And basically we're just going to follow this little bit deeper channel here on the left-hand side of these riffles, just in front of the point of this little island on our left. And yeah, basically this is just a super shallow rapid, and it's going to push us towards this bank over to our right. Obviously we're just going to paddle on our right hand side to kind of get out of that current and keep on moving down river nice and easy. So there you go. That's a quick, simple guide on how to navigate a rapid. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it, especially on bigger, faster water, but here on the Harpeth, that's really about as bad as they get. Some of them are a little bit faster, a little bit more narrow, so you've got to maneuver a little bit more quickly, but for the most part, that's the hardest rapid you're going to have to deal with. And you can tell now we're back to kind of a lower flow area. The river widens and the water slows down, So now that we've made it through that, I hope that helps you navigate the rapids here a little bit easier if you've never done it. If you have done it, obviously you know all this already, so this is not for you. So anyways, folks, I hope that helped, and hopefully you'll get out here soon. We're gonna cut the camera off, get a little bit further downriver here while we've still got this nice overcast weather and the nice little breeze, and we will check in just a little bit. All right, folks, I know I said I'd check in just a little bit, but I have to show you this. There are two of them. One just crawled into the water. I'm hoping I can sneak up on them and get close enough so that you can see them. There are two soft-shell turtles over here just in front of us on the bank, which, again, I've seen one of these in over a decade. So let's see if we can sneak up on him here. Its partner already dove into the water, but I'm hoping this soft-shell turtle will let us get a little bit closer so that you can see it. They're also extremely fast, folks. There he goes, right into the water. That is absolutely incredible, folks. Absolutely incredible. I cannot believe I've seen 3 of those today. Absolutely mind-blowing. I love it. Alrighty, folks. So we're coming right along, and we've got a good rapid up ahead of us. I just wanted to, again, kind of give you an idea of how to navigate rapids here on the Harpeth, and in general, honestly, it's you know, on everything but like bigger, more dangerous rapids, it's pretty much the same concept. So on this rapid up here, we've got a split, and then we've got to go relatively close to the bank on this right-hand side. Got to go close to the bank because it's so shallow on the left-hand side, and we're going to have to paddle hard to get out of the rapid because we're going to be going through some trees. Make sure everything is in the boat here so it doesn't get hung up, and I hope that I can avoid the limbs enough so that the camera doesn't end up in the water. So here we go. We're starting into this rapid now. Again, most of the time the rapid is going to want to push you into the opposite bank like that. And then, ta-da, we're right through the rapid. Gonna do a little back paddle to avoid this limb for the most part. Bam! We shot that little corner there. We still got some rapids up ahead of us. It stays pretty shallow for the most part, and you know, the current really is not too bad here. It's super shallow on the left-hand side of this rapid. So we're gonna move over to the right-hand side of the river, give it a little back paddle on the left, so we turn the nose of the canoe so that we don't end up in this big brush pile that the current wants to put us in. So we got out of the way of the brush pile. We're gonna back paddle to bring the nose of the canoe back into the primary channel here, and we are set and ready to go. So during the summer, that's a little too shallow. You can't float that. You can't really float it right now. It's just too shallow, but definitely a pretty section of river, and I hope it gives you a better idea of how to navigate a rapid, especially when it's tight quarters. All right, folks, so that is going to wrap up our float here at the Narrows of the Harpeth. By far one of my favorite floats just outside Nashville, Tennessee, and very fortunately just 4.8 miles from my house. So what we're going to do now, I mentioned several times that this is a float you can do entirely solo. So what we're going to do now, you know, we've pulled the canoe out of the water. Now all we need to do is go back to the parking lot and pick up our truck, come down here, load up the canoe, and we'll be good to go. So we're going to show you the trail on the way back. It's really a leisurely walk. It's only about a half mile, and you may meet some friendly folks like I did on the way down here today. So we're going to wrap it up and go ahead and show you the trail back to where you will park your car to float this section of the Harpeth River solo. Alrighty, folks, so due to a number of technical mishaps, we have lost the file for the hike back to the put-in point. So I'm out here again today. This is my third go at shooting out here in the Narrows of the Harpeth. So we're going to show you the half-mile walk back from the takeout ramp you see behind me to the put-in point. So let's take off. How are y'all doing? Good. Good. Just for a second, but no, you can't see your face or anything like that. Y'all have a good day. Thank you. Alrighty, folks. We are starting on the trail back. It is a little soggy today, so there may be some mud, but that's okay. It rained last night. As you can see, the spring woods here in Tennessee are fully greened up and ready for summer. So the hardest part of this trail to navigate is really right here. You have to go through some of this riprap under the bridge. But outside of that, this trail is super easy to navigate. It's a really well maintained, clean trail. It is safe. I have done this trail, oh gosh, a dozen times or more, back and forth. And, I've done it during the day, I've done it at night, I've done it by myself, and I've done it with other people. It is always a good time, and as you saw at the beginning of the trail there, met some hikers that are very friendly folks. You have a good chance of meeting really nice people while you're out here. So the trail's obviously well maintained. You need to stay on the trail because you don't want to disturb or damage any of the wildlife. This particular section of the trail right here is actually a wildflower restoration area. So they try to keep people on the trail so that native wildflowers can bloom and flourish without being damaged or bothered. So you can see here, it is a protected natural area. And then they've also got these really cool little plaques all along the trail that tell you about native plant species here in Tennessee. So we're gonna keep on down this trail here, and we later in the video I'll show you there is quite a few more hiking trails here at Narrows of the Harpeth. The most spectacular of which is the Bluff Trail. It is 1/3 of a mile, basically straight up the spine of a ridge, and it gives you an incredible view of the Harpeth River and the Harpeth River Valley there. Yeah, just absolutely wonderful. You need to hike it if you come down here. Definitely bring some bug spray though. The bugs are bad here in Tennessee. Plenty of ticks, chiggers, little black gnats that bite you and leave an itchy red welt that is not enjoyable. So there are a couple drawbacks to being outside, but that's part of Tennessee in the spring and summer. There are going to be bugs. So it's about 11 o'clock this morning, and we haven't gotten into the full heat of the day yet, but the nice thing is most of these cliffs in this valley keep you in the shade for the most part. You've got a nice little cave over here, gives you a cool breeze. You can see the spring running out of it down into the Harpeth down there. And yeah, anyways folks, this trail keeps you nice and cool for the most part. You typically have a good breeze. It's about 70 degrees or so this morning, so very nice out. The birds are chirping. Really the only thing that is a little bit of a drawback, and that's not even much of a drawback, is that we did get quite a bit of rain last night, so the trail itself is a little squishy. But other than that, not too bad at all. So as I mentioned, we'll get up here to the junction of the Bluff Trail and all that, and then we'll kind of show you what that hike looks like as well. And you can also take another split there that will take you down the ridge and into the valley a little bit more, and it will take you to the other side of that tunnel that we showed you on the way in. So I'm rocking my Swanson Shroot for President shirt. It is an election year, and I don't know about y'all, but I love those characters, love those two shows. So I don't mind wearing this out in public, even though it may look a little silly. So we're just cruising right along, folks. Again, very well maintained trail. This is about the steepest part on the way back. Really not bad at all, and it's only about a half-mile walk in total. So you can typically do it in 10 to 15 minutes or less, and be back at your car. Whether you park up at the put-in point, or you drop your canoe, kayak, floats, whatever you may bring to float that day, and drive to the takeout point and park there. Either way, you can hike either direction on this trail, and it's really not bad either way. Little steep in a couple sections, but again, really well maintained, so not too bad, and just about anybody who's relatively stable-footed can walk this with ease. Like I said, it takes us along the cliffs here in the Harpeth. Takes us along the cliffs here in the river valley, and just gorgeous. I mean, you may be able to tell, you may not be able to tell. Just overlooking some big, freshly cut fields across the river there, and we're already back to the split in the trail up here. So if you go to the right, it'll take you down to that tunnel. How are you doing? It'll take you down to the tunnel there, and if you continue on, you'll see the Bluff Ridge Trail right there. And then as we complete the trail, slipped a little bit. We're getting back to the bottom of the trail here, and our parking lot is just down here to our right. So really, really easy hike, folks. Super easy to complete, and it puts you right back at the parking lot for you to pick up your car or go ahead and hop in your boat and take off on your float. We are almost to the top, folks. We have made it. So folks, it was 1/3 of a mile, basically straight up, but the views are well worth it. All right, folks, that is going to wrap up our solo float slash day hike slash outdoor adventure here at Narrows of the Harpeth State Park. And if you live in Nashville, if you're coming to visit Nashville, if you're thinking about moving to Nashville, and it is in one of the warmer summer months, I highly, highly recommend coming down here and floating or hiking here at Narrows of the Harpeth. So remember, folks, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a personalized Zoom call with Chris and I so that we can help you make a smooth move here to Nashville, Tennessee. Until next time, I hope to see you around town soon.